The cursor blinked mockingly on the black screen as Sarah stared at her lifeless computer, tears of frustration threatening to spill. Tomorrow's presentation to the board, her chance at the promotion she'd worked 3 years for, was trapped inside that machine. With trembling fingers, she dialed the IT specialist who had recently joined their company, a quiet single father named James who kept to himself. She had no idea that this desperate late-night call would change both their lives forever. Hey everyone! If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming content that reminds us how unexpected moments can transform our lives. Your support means everything. Sarah Morgan drummed her manicured nails against her desk, watching the clock tick toward 9 p.m. The office had emptied hours ago, but as marketing director at Horizon Innovations, late nights were her norm. Tonight was different, though. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp, she would present her rebranding strategy to the board, a presentation she'd poured her heart into for months. She took a sip of her now cold coffee and clicked to review the final slide when her screen froze. Sarah waited, clicked again, then frantically pressed several keys. Nothing. The blue circle spun endlessly until the screen went black. No, 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 she whispered, her heart racing. She tried rebooting, but the computer refused to cooperate, displaying only a cryptic error message. 3 years of climbing the corporate ladder, of proving herself in a male-dominated industry, of sacrificing weekends and relationships, all potentially undone by technology failing at the worst possible moment. Sarah's hand hovered over her phone. It was 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. The IT department had gone home hours ago. But there was that new guy, James Wilson, who had fixed her email issues last week. He'd mentioned something about being available for emergencies. Was this an emergency? Absolutely. She found his number in the company directory and dialed before she could reconsider. Hello? His voice sounded cautious, with the faint sound of children's laughter in the background. James? This is Sarah Morgan from marketing. I'm so sorry to call this late, but my computer crashed, and I have a critical presentation tomorrow morning. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't an emergency. The line went quiet for a moment. I understand. I'd need to find someone to watch my kids, though. Sarah closed her eyes, guilt washing over her. I'm sorry, I didn't think. No, it's okay. Let me make a call. I can be there in about 40 minutes. Thank you, she breathed. I'll email security to let you in. After hanging up, Sarah paced her office, alternating between anxiety about her presentation and guilt about disrupting James's evening with his children. She knew almost nothing about him except that he'd joined the company 3 months ago and kept to himself. The office rumor mill had mentioned he was a widower with 2 young children, but Sarah had been too consumed with her own career to pay attention to the personal lives of IT staff. James Wilson tucked his 7-year-old daughter Emma into bed, brushing her dark curls away from her forehead. But why do you have to go, Daddy? Emma's lower lip trembled slightly. Someone at work needs my help, sweetheart. Mrs. Peterson from next door will be right here if you need anything, and I'll be back before you know it. Promise? Her small voice made his heart ache. Promise. He kissed her forehead. And tomorrow after school, we'll have ice cream to make up for it. His 5-year-old son Noah was already asleep in the next room, clutching the stuffed dinosaur that hadn't left his side since his mother's funeral 18 months ago. James paused in the doorway, watching his son's peaceful breathing. Every day was a balancing act between being the father his children needed and keeping the job that supported them. After Mrs. Peterson arrived, James drove through the quiet streets toward the downtown office building. He'd noticed Sarah Morgan before, everyone had. She was brilliant, driven, and intimidating, with a reputation for perfectionism. The kind of executive who rarely acknowledged support staff beyond their immediate usefulness. But there had been something in her voice tonight, vulnerability beneath the professional veneer, that had compelled him to help. When the security guard escorted James to the 14th floor, Sarah was waiting by the elevator. Her usual polished appearance was slightly disheveled, her blonde hair pulled back in a messy bun, her silk blouse wrinkled from the long day. "Thank you for coming," she said, leading him to her office. "I can't tell you how much I appreciate this." James nodded, setting his bag down beside her desk. "Tell me what happened." As Sarah explained the crash, James noticed the family photo on her desk, Sarah with an older couple who must be her parents, and the stack of marketing books with dozens of sticky notes protruding from the pages. Her office told the story of someone who lived for their work. "I'll see what I can do," he said, sitting at her desk and beginning his diagnostics. Sarah hovered nearby, her anxiety palpable. "Is there anything I can do to help? Coffee would be great, if there's any available." "Of course." She seemed relieved to have a task. "How do you take it?" "Black is fine." While Sarah went to the break room, James worked methodically, identifying a corrupted system file that had triggered the crash. The fix wouldn't be quick, but it was possible. When Sarah returned with 2 steaming mugs, he explained the situation. "I can recover your files, but it's going to take some time. Probably a couple of hours." Sarah's shoulders slumped. "You don't have to stay. If you can just get the presentation file, I can work from home." "It's not that simple. I need to repair the system before I can safely extract your files." He glanced at her tired face. "Why don't you take a break while I work? This first part is just watching progress bars anyway." Sarah hesitated, then nodded. "I'll be in the conference room down the hall. Just shout if you need anything." In the quiet conference room, Sarah stared out at the city lights, questioning the choices that had led her here. At 34, she had the career she'd always wanted, but little else. No partner, no children, few close friends. Her last relationship had ended 6 months ago when her boyfriend grew tired of competing with her work schedule. Tomorrow's presentation could secure her position as the youngest female executive in the company's history. Yet here she was, dependent on the kindness of a man she'd barely acknowledged in the hallways, a man who had left his children at night to help her. After an hour, she returned to her office with a fresh coffee for James. He was still focused on the screen, lines of code reflected in his glasses. "Any progress?" she asked, setting the mug beside him. He looked up with a small smile that transformed his serious face. "Actually, yes. I've repaired the system and I'm recovering your files now. The presentation looks intact." Relief flooded through her. "That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. We still need to make sure everything works properly." Sarah pulled up a chair beside him, watching as he navigated through recovered files. "So, you have children?" she asked, remembering the background noise during their call. James nodded. "Emma and Noah. 7 and 5. That must be challenging, working and raising them alone." His fingers paused briefly on the keyboard. "Every day. But they're worth it." "What happened to their mother? If you don't mind me asking." "Cancer. 18 months ago." Sarah's heart sank. "I'm so sorry." "Thank you." He continued working, his expression composed but his eyes reflecting a depth of pain that made Sarah look away. "How did you end up in IT?" she asked, changing the subject. "I was in software development before. After Lisa died, I needed something with more stable hours for the kids. Your company offered that." Sarah nodded, suddenly aware of how little she knew about the lives of people who worked alongside her. "I appreciate you coming in tonight. I know it wasn't easy to arrange." James shrugged. "We help each other, right? That's how it's supposed to work." His simple statement lingered in her mind as they fell into a comfortable silence, the only sound the clicking of keys as he worked. 2 hours after James had arrived, the computer was running again, all files recovered. Sarah opened her presentation, scrolling through to confirm everything was there. "It's perfect," she whispered, relief making her voice tremble. "I don't know how to thank you." "Just doing my job," James said, packing up his tools. Sarah shook her head. "No, this was far beyond your job. You saved mine." She hesitated. Would you mind looking at the presentation? Just to make sure everything displays correctly?" James checked his watch. It was nearly midnight, but nodded. "Sure." As Sarah clicked through the slides, explaining her strategy for repositioning the company's main product line, she found herself watching James's reactions. He listened intently, asking thoughtful questions that revealed a surprising understanding of marketing concepts. "This is impressive," he said when she finished. "The board would be crazy not to approve it." "Thank you." She smiled, feeling a strange mix of professional pride and personal connection. "I should let you get home to your children." James stood, slinging his bag over his shoulder. "Good luck tomorrow." "You'll do great." "Thanks to you." Sarah walked with him to the elevator. As they waited, an impulse seized her. "James, would you like to have dinner sometime? As a thank you." He looked surprised, then thoughtful. "I'd like that, but it would have to include Emma and Noah. They don't do well with new babysitters yet." "Of course," Sarah said, realizing she meant it. "I'd love to meet them." The elevator arrived, and James stepped in. "Good night, Sarah. Don't stay too late." "I won't," she promised, watching the doors close. The next morning, Sarah delivered her presentation flawlessly. The board approved her strategy unanimously, and the CEO personally congratulated her on her promotion to Executive Marketing Director. Colleagues stopped by her office all day with congratulations, but Sarah found herself thinking about James and his children. That evening, she left the office at 5:30, earlier than she had in years, and drove to a toy store. She wasn't sure what 7- and 5-year-olds would like, but she selected a science kit and a plush dinosaur, hoping they were appropriate. At home, she changed into jeans and a casual sweater, feeling strangely nervous as she dialed James's number. "Hello?" His voice sounded more relaxed than the previous night. "Hi, James. It's Sarah Morgan. I just wanted to let you know the presentation was a success. I got the promotion. Congratulations. That's great news. Thanks to you." She took a deep breath. "I was wondering if that dinner offer still stands. Maybe this weekend, if you're free?" There was a pause, then, "Emma and Noah would like that. How about Saturday? There's a pizza place near the park that's good with kids." "Perfect." Sarah smiled, feeling something shift inside her, priorities realigning, perspectives changing. Saturday arrived with unexpected butterflies in Sarah's stomach. She parked outside the colorful pizza restaurant James had suggested, spotting him immediately at an outdoor table with 2 dark-haired children. Emma was coloring intently while Noah arranged action figures in elaborate formations. James stood as she approached, his smile warming his entire face. "Sarah, glad you could make it. Kids, this is Ms. Morgan from my work." Emma looked up with curious eyes so like her father's. "Did Daddy fix your computer?" Sarah laughed. "He did. He saved my job." "Daddy fixes everything," Noah stated matter-of-factly, offering her a plastic dinosaur. "This is Rex. You can hold him if you want." Sarah accepted the dinosaur solemnly. "Thank you, Noah. That's very kind." As they shared pizza and conversation, Sarah found herself relaxing in a way she hadn't in years. Emma chattered about school and her dream of becoming a veterinarian. Noah explained the complex hierarchy of his dinosaur collection. And James watched his children with such love that it made Sarah's heart ache with something she couldn't quite name. After pizza, they walked to the adjacent playground. Sarah sat beside James on a bench while the children played. "They're wonderful," she said, watching Emma help her little brother climb the slide. "They are." James's voice held pride and sadness in equal measure. "Their mother would be proud of how they're growing. And of you," Sarah added softly. "You're doing an amazing job with them." He turned to look at her, really look at her, perhaps for the first time. "Thank you. That means a lot." Their conversation flowed easily, about work, books, movies they'd seen, and eventually about deeper things: Sarah's drive to prove herself in a male-dominated industry, James's struggle to rebuild a life for his children after unimaginable loss. "I've been so focused on my career," Sarah admitted. "Watching you with Emma and Noah makes me wonder what I've been missing." "We all make choices," James said. "There's no single right path. Maybe. But I think I've been on autopilot for too long." She watched the children playing. "This is nice. Being present, I mean. Not thinking about the next meeting or deadline." James smiled. "Don't stop." "What?" "Don't stop noticing the present. It's where life actually happens." Sarah felt something shift inside her, like tectonic plates realigning. "I'll try not to." In the months that followed, Sarah's life transformed in ways she never expected. Weekend dinners with James and his children became a regular occurrence. She learned to build Lego castles with Noah and braid Emma's hair for school. She discovered that success at work meant more when balanced with connections outside it. James taught her to slow down, to notice small moments of joy. She taught his children about marketing by helping Emma sell Girl Scout cookies and creating a dinosaur museum in the living room with Noah. 6 months after that desperate late-night call, Sarah sat in her office, looking at the framed photo now displayed beside the one of her parents, herself with James, Emma, and Noah at the zoo, all four smiling widely at the camera. Her assistant knocked on the door. "Your 4 o'clock is here, Ms. Morgan." "Thank you, Jen." Sarah closed her laptop and stood. "And remember, I'm leaving at 5 today. Emma has a school play." "Of course. Your calendar is blocked off." As Sarah walked to the conference room, she passed the IT department and caught James's eye through the glass wall. He smiled and mouthed, "Break a leg tonight." She smiled back, remembering his words from that first evening at the playground, "Don't stop noticing the present. It's where life actually happens." She hadn't stopped. And life, real life, with its messy, beautiful complications, had finally begun. That night, as Emma took her bow on the elementary school stage, Sarah felt James's hand find hers in the darkened auditorium. His fingers intertwined with hers, warm and steady. "Thank you," he whispered. "For what?" "For being here. For becoming part of our lives." Sarah squeezed his hand. "Thank you for answering your phone that night." As they applauded Emma's performance, Noah leaning sleepily against Sarah's side, she realized that the most important presentation of her life hadn't been the one to the board. It had been the moment she presented her true self, vulnerable, imperfect, and open to connection, to the man beside her and the children who were teaching her what really mattered. "Don't stop," she whispered to herself, a promise to remain present for all the moments, big and small, that made a life worth living. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content that reminds us how unexpected connections can change our lives. Sometimes our greatest blessings arrive disguised as inconveniences, and the people we least expect become the ones who matter most. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know about a time when an unexpected encounter changed your life's direction.